William Afton is not a good person. He's literally the villain of the FNAF series. He's the one who sets everything in motion, the one who deserves to suffer the most, and the vengeful spirit is accomplishing this, or at the very least, was. But while I want William dead more than anything, what reasons would we have to make death perhaps a bit of an easy way out? That's what we're exploring today. Let's do it. And be sure you let me know what fate you think William should suffer in the comments. In at 10, killed his kids. The worst thing that Afton has done by far is getting his kids killed. Like, sure, he may not have done it directly, but his actions end up resulting in all 3 of his kids' demises. Him killing Charlotte gets Fredbear's closed, which results in Circus Baby's opening, which made him have to dust off Baby and the other fun times which were designed to kill in the first place. Baby then ends up grabbing and crushing Elizabeth, resulting in her possessing that animatronic, because, you know, it was designed to lure kids and probably had her input. He superpowered the jaw of the Fredbear animatronic that was used at the new Freddy Fazbear's, which ends up crushing his youngest son's skull. And while you could argue that that was Michael, why would he think that Fredbear's mouth would be that overpowered? And as the suit technician, William knew what he was doing when he made it. And then he gets Michael killed when he sends him down to find his sister in sister location, which makes him learn the truth, and then also gets him stuff with Ennard, and finally results with him letting himself burn in Pizzeria Simulator. So yeah, William's actions get all 3 of his kids killed, but just because he had to kill his business partner's daughter. In at 9, possibly killed wife. Now, this hasn't been confirmed as of yet, so this is currently not really canon, but many people still consider William Afton offing his wife to be the story of her demise. Even though technically we know nothing about her and she could still be alive, many people consider her to have died either in a car crash or because William got a little fed up. Those are the most common thoughts on the matter, at least. Although her dying in a car accident came from like a FNAF music video from the Living Tombstones that was probably also using Minecraft characters, although I don't think it was. But like, yeah, it's in no way canon to the series. Yeah, I've had to tell people this in my DMs after they've been yelling at me, telling me that it's a canon car accident, but no, it's not. It's not even actually canon that she died. But the potential is still there that William was the reason she kicked the animatronic part-filled bucket. Since it's only really a possibility though, it's at number 9. If it gets confirmed though, I'm more than willing to bump it up on the list. Although statistically speaking, your spouse is the person most likely to kill you, so she should be on her guard. In at 8, lied about Remnant. Now, this isn't confirmed, much like the fact that he possibly killed his wife. However, this seems like the most likely explanation to me. So if you want a full in-depth dive as to why I think Afton actually was the one who lied about Remnant, be sure you go click the video linked in the iCard. I'm hoping. It might be. But I'm gonna summarize it quickly here. Basically, there have been 3 fires so far that were meant to finish off William Afton, and none of them have worked. The reason Henry tried fire was because that's supposed to be the thing that can burn off Remnant. However, Remnant can also be found in liquid form. So how can something be molten but also burn away if it's set on fire? That doesn't make sense. It makes more sense that William made up the lie that he can be killed with fire, so Henry would keep trying and failing to kill him with this method so he wouldn't have to worry about actually dying. Since literally every time he's been in a fire, he has survived. And the other animatronics infused with Remnant have also survived, like Baby, the puppet, and Ennard in FNAF 6, as we see in the Blob. So yeah, clearly it's not working, dude. Try something else. In at 7, missing children's incident. I mean, this is a fairly low-hanging fruit since it's like the inciting moment for the entire series, but I think it's still worth calling out at least at number 7. The missing children's incident, in case you forgot, is the infamous incident where 5 kids go missing inside a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and are never seen again. Police investigated, but they were unable to find any bodies, thus they had to let their suspect, in this case most likely William Afton, go due to a lack of evidence. However, this is one of the most horrifically painful moments that you can think of, especially if you're a parent yourself. 5 families went into Freddy Fazbear's wanting their kids to have the time of their lives in 1985, but left without their favorite people. They had the time of their lives alright, it just so happened that it was also the end of it. Not only that, but Afton ends up getting away with it since the police were terrible at their jobs or were getting paid off. Still not sure which one is the case in this series, but the missing children's incident is one of the most messed up things to ever happen in the series, but without it we wouldn't have the series. At least it's all fake though, on this earth. In at 6, animatronics. We can joke all we want about how Afton has a hardcore bloodlust in this series, but his desire for human destruction has been there since the very start. And thanks to the fast facts found in FNAF AR's files, we learned that the Funtime robots, the ones used in Sister Location, were actually some of the first robots that Afton ever made. Not exactly the first, but among the first. And they were built with special containment chambers to store away items, which we all all know is code for children's storage tanks, baby. We see the fun times have kids inside them in their blueprints. So this means that Afton has been wanting to kill kids since before his kids had died. Hell, maybe even before they were born, depending on the timeline. Which at this point is as simple as my feelings for Vanessa, which are not simple at all. Halfway through into number 5, first victim. They say a killer's first victim is the most important, since it actually indicates maybe what got them to start killing or other psychological clues that could be used to predict their next moves. But in the case of William Afton, his first victim was the daughter of his longtime business partner Henry, which is hella messed up because she was 3 at the time being 1983. And this is the worst year of Afton's life too. It's time where everything starts going downhill in the worst ways possible. But he starts off killing kids and then sticks with that MO throughout the rest of his criminal career. But the fact that his first victim was someone who trusted him, who didn't exactly suspect him even though her father did, is something that even I fear, and I'm not a parent. So I can only imagine how this must have felt for Henry. And if that was me, I'd be doing a lot more than burning down restaurants in an attempt to put him down, alright? I'd be doing it myself with my bare hands, especially if he had killed my daughter when she was 3 years old. Like, I can feel the rage brewing inside of me already, and I don't even have someone with whom I could have a daughter with. So yeah, although the Atomic Heart twins could. Anyways, and at 4, stored his daughter. While we know that Afton isn't the best father, I think it's something else to end up locking your robot possessed by the soul of your dead daughter in an animatronic testing facility. Like, that seems to be a bit too far if you ask for my humble opinion, but nevertheless, he still did it, and that's what Sister Location is all about. And William was the one who sent us down there as Michael in the first place, and then we end up getting shoved full of Ennard bits so that they can escape. Like, I don't know if William knew about that plan or not, because in FNAF 6, Baby says that she wants to make her dad proud. So, was William's intention to send us down there so that Baby could get out, or were we just supposed to learn the truth? And if it was so that she could get out, why lock her down there in the first place? I mean, if she was your daughter, why not just have her chill around the house? I get that she's a 6-foot tall giant clown robot, but like in the books, Baby's able to transform between a baby and a human looking animatronic at will, so why not add that to this version? Then you can have your daughter back. I mean, she'll be a little bit more messed up and a hell of a lot older, but she'll be like you in a lot more ways too, right? I don't know, man. This family's messed the hell up. Nothing makes sense. Getting close to the end, in at number 3, stuffed. One of the most deranged things that William Afton did was stuff the bodies of the original 5 missing children into the original 5 animatronics. Bonnie, Foxy, Freddy, Chica, and Golden Freddy. And the craziest part is how he didn't get caught for that. The animatronics smelt like death and started leaking blood and other fluids, and the police didn't bat an eye. It says so in newspaper articles from the first game. He put these bodies in the animatronics that perform for other kids and their parents every single day. How does anyone think that that's a good idea? Unless maybe it was his way of like displaying his kill or something, like how some of the crime shows mention that that's a thing. I don't know. Some killers enjoy the world knowing what they did since it helps them feel more powerful or something like that, fuels their ego. Maybe even if they didn't know that the bodies were there, maybe William was getting a bit of an ego boost from that, which is also messed up and kind of ruins the whole he did it because his kids were dying theory more than him making kill bots before they died, but still. How did the police not confiscate the animatronics for evidence? I don't get it, man. They were literally leaking blood. That's not normal. Oil isn't red. But ultimately, in number 2, later that night. The Midnight Motorist minigame seems simple enough, but the true horror of this minigame comes from the implications of it. Since in the game files, the minigame is known as Later That Night. Most people akin the game to what happens after William kills Charlotte outside Fredbear's Family Diner in FNAF 2 in the Take Cake minigame, but if that is true, this is one of the scariest moments in all of FNAF history. This man just killed someone, but then goes home to his kids. He reprimands his son and then abuses him by locking in his room, so much so that he has to break his window to escape. But think of all the people driving past him too, unaware of the violent crime that he just committed. It's terrifying because that would be the case in the real world too. I don't know, maybe this is the paranoia disorder speaking, but technically anyone we encounter could be a serial killer. And that is a horrific thought, since also technically you're only alive because everyone you have ever encountered has chosen not to kill you, which only makes the whole anyone could be a serial killer thing even worse. And you know what, in this case, this man literally just killed someone and then comes home and yells at his son who's been in his room all day because you locked him in there. God bro, how much residual anger can you have? And finally, in at number 1, Vanessa. Possessing Vanessa was certainly one of the more messed up things that William did. It just sounds weird, you know? Like, this guy just pops up in your VR headset and then takes over your body so that now you end up killing for him. That's just incredibly messed up. I mean, she knows what's going on, too. Like, she actively talks in hushed tones about how she can't talk about it to her therapist. So, like, what the hell is the dynamic here? I mean, possessing someone is already hella weird, but then causing them to make a rabbit furry costume because you're still a furry is a whole other level of kink that I don't even want to think about. And she also knows that there's an evil thing inside her, but she can't do anything about it, so she fears for her life, which only makes me wonder what William's been saying to her. And then she's also now, with full knowledge of her darker half, willing to lock a kid in a lost and found room until the police arrive, despite never calling the police because she knows her darker half is going to come out and track him down because she wants him. Security breach is the most convoluted piece of gaming history I've ever seen, and I'm tired, so I'm gonna go. Click the video that's popping up on screen. I am gonna go get harassed by a fridge some more, because that's the best part of the game.